What could be better than a New England IPA? A New England IPA in a big 50 centilitre bottle. And this was less than £3. But what's it going to be like? Check out the review to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be reviewing this beer. This is called Wild Weather. It's called a hazy IPA. It's a New England IPA coming in at 6.6%, and it is from the Stonehouse Sidelines, which is a brewery based down in Stonehouse Brewery Limited. They're based down in Oswestry, which is in Shropshire, not a million miles from me here in Chester. And I saw this in my local Chester bottle shop, Chester Beer and Wine. Give them another plug as well. Go online, check out their website. They do some great beers, really good prices. Now this one was £2.90. So I thought, it's a bit cheap. Is it going to be a bit inferior? You know, when you see a beer that's cheap and you think, it's too cheap to be good. But sometimes you see beers that are expensive and they're still not great. And the thing that appealed to me was that, one, it's a New England IPA. Everyone knows that I love New England IPAs. And secondly, it's in this big, like, 500ml bottle. 500ml, 50cl, I think I said in the intro. What's the difference between that? Anyway, 500ml. So this is nearly, it's getting closer to a pint. Bigger than your normal 440ml cans. Under £3. It's a bargain. It's going to be great, isn't it? It's in a bottle as well. You know, it's just a bit more interesting than your normal can. So let's crack it open, get the bottle open and get it into a glass and see what it's like. Well, straight away you can see it's definitely a hazy looking beer. So, beer in a glass. It's a little bit darker than your normal sort of New England IPA. It's sort of an orangey, almost, it's a sort of dark orangey sort of colour, sort of almost amber. Got 2 fingers of white fluffy head. It looks pretty good really. It's a lot darker than I would normally expect from a New England IPA, but let's get some aroma, shall I? Yep, that went right up my nose. I'll try that again. Yeah, I mean, not much on the nose. There's a little bit of sort of, just a sort of bare citrus and tropical, but quite subtle. And it's worrying because I can almost smell the sort of, when you pour a beer out of a bottle, sometimes you can get that sort of, that smell from the bottle, whether it's the cap from the top. I'm getting a little bit of that smell. Well, let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Firstly, it's really juicy. There's a lot of really juicy flavours in here. What sort of flavours? Again, it's almost like a fruit bowl of flavours. There's nothing that jumps out. Yes, you've got mango in there. Yes, you've got some stone fruits in there, like peaches and apricots. There's a little bit of citrus there. It's got a very low bitterness. It's got a lovely soft mouthfeel, low levels of carbonation. There's another flavour in there. I can't really quite put my finger on what it is. It doesn't taste like New England IPA to me. It has the sort of mouthfeel qualities, the low levels of carbonation. It's really lovely in terms of the mouthfeel. But the thing is, the flavours is a bit of a mixture that's almost like, it's difficult to really pick out the flavours. I'm getting a lot more of those juicy stone fruits. It's bigger on the stone fruits. It tells us the hops. It says it's got Citra, Mosaic and Eldorado. You know, we've had New England IPAs with those in before. This has got a little bit more of a sort of, almost like a bit more of a floral sort of flavour to it as well. It's a little bit more earthier, less sort of fresh. So you're not getting those big fresh pineapple flavours. The mango is like more of a real pulpy sort of mango. I'm getting more of the apricot and peaches than I am mango, but there's definitely mango in there. And then what else am I getting? I'm not really getting anything on the back end really. There's a little bit of citrus, bit of orange, bit of passion fruit. not really grapefruit as such. And it's very low in terms of there's no bitterness. It's not really got a piney sort of flavour to it. It's not bad, but I've had a lot better New England IPAs. But would this score better because it's in a massive bottle and it's under £3? Well, stick around. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for the Wild Weston Hazy IPA, coming at 6.6% from the Stonehouse Brewery based down in Oswestry, which is in Shropshire, not a million miles from here. I don't know what it is, but we've had a couple from Shropshire in this last sort of week or so. We also had the unpronounceable one from the Salopian Brewery. That was pretty good. This is pretty good as well, and £2.90 this cost me. Still amazing value for money. But first things first, aroma. A little bit disappointed, really. Yeah, there's some tropical sort of aromas in there. I'm getting peaches and apricots and mangoes. A little bit of citrus, but it's all a little bit sort of, it's got this sort of earthy quality to it. It doesn't sort of sing fresh and real, real juicy. So it's, it's a juicy sort of aroma in there, but there's nothing that big. So I'm giving it a 12 for aroma. Appearance. So, I mean, it's a lovely sort of, it's a lot darker than a lot of New England IPAs, but it's hazy, really hazy. It looks nice and thick. It's got nice coat in the glass. Head's a little bit going down a little bit, but let's face it, with a lot of these IPAs, you don't usually get, a finger of head still all the way down to the bottom. It's a nice looking beer. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Flavour wise, first things first, it's got a nice soft mouthfeel and it's got nice, real low levels of carbonation. Makes it almost chewy in terms of the flavour, in terms of that flavour on the palate. It's juicy though. It's got this sort of juicy quality that's like, basically like a fruit salad. It's got all kinds of fruits in it. There's nothing that jumps out. There's not like loads of mango. There's not like loads of pineapple. There's no grapefruit really in it. It just is this sort of tropical fruit bowl, which I find with some of the cheaper beers, you get that. I don't think that the flavour is bad. In fact, the flavour is pretty damn nice. But I would like, something that jumps out a little bit more, something that I can properly describe, and this one is difficult to sort of get it. I think it moves more towards the sort of stone fruits than the sort of fresh pineapples and your papayas and all that sort of stuff. It's still pretty good though. As I said, the mouthfeel, is pretty good considering it's come out of a bottle. 6.6%. It's quite high on the alcohol, I would say, but for a New England IPA, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the right sort of level. I'm giving it 33 though for flavour. Value for money. Well, as I said, this is a 500ml bottle of beer and it was £2.90. You can't get better than that. That's a great value for money beer. I've had beer twice the price that's not as good as this. It's not the greatest New England IPA that I've ever tasted, but it's good and it's certainly a good midweek drink. Certainly in a nice big bottle. So I think it's deservedly worth 9 out of 10. And then my overall experience, well, it's got lovely low levels of bitterness. It's got a nice soft mouthfeel. And it's got this nice sort of chewy and quite thick to medium to thick body, which is really nice. I suppose what I want a little bit more from my New England IPA is a little bit more sort of that sort of freshness. It's juicy, but I won't call it fresh. When you get those sort of real straw coloured sort of beers, a lot lighter, more custardy and yellow, you get much more sort of freshness and you get a little bit more citrus and grapefruit. It's difficult to really pick out the citrus in this. You're really getting only tropical fruits in here. But it's certainly not unpleasant, and I've had a lot worse beers. So I'm giving it a 13 for overall. It's a nice beer, and it's in a big bottle, and it's £2.90. What more do you want? Tighten those scores up, well, you get 75. It's a big bottle of beer, and you're going to slide this one in slow and easy. 75, it's a recommended. If you see it, give it a try. I mean, I don't know much about this brewery. I expect they're a pretty small brewery based down in Oswestry. Oswestry is not a very big place, but it's a pretty good beer. So I'll be interested to see if there's anything more that these guys do, but this is certainly a good starter for me. Wild Weston, check it out. And until the next one, keep on rocking.